Everyone's talking about the BRRRR method, like it's some secret cheat code to wealth. But what if the very first time you try it, you blow up your finances instead of building them? We need to talk about whether a beginner can actually pull this off, or whether this strategy is quietly designed to humble the overconfident. Let's back up and break down what BRRRR even means, because the acronym alone sounds like something you'd say after jumping into a cold pool. Buy, rehab, rent, refinance. Repeat 5 steps that sound clean on paper, but carry about as much chaos as a home renovation show, where they always, conveniently, finish on time. The idea is almost poetically simple. You buy a distressed property cheap, fix it up, rent it out, pull your money back out through a cash-out refinance, and then go do it all over again. It's the real estate equivalent of a money printer, except the machine occasionally catches fire, runs out of ink, or the contractor ghosts you for 3 weeks. Here's the economic engine running underneath this whole thing. You're essentially forcing appreciation by improving a property's value faster than the market naturally would. It's arbitrage between what something is worth in its broken down state and what it can command once it's move-in ready and cash flowing. Now, a year or two ago, everyone and their uncle on social media was posting about how they BRRRR'd their first property with $0 out of pocket, like it was a personality trait. That energy has cooled considerably as interest rates climbed, refinancing became more expensive, and suddenly, the math that looked beautiful in a low-rate environment started looking like modern abstract art, confusing and open to interpretation. The psychological weight of attempting this as a beginner is genuinely underestimated, and you'll hear experienced investors admit that their first deal nearly broke them emotionally, not just financially. There's a quote that circulates in real estate communities: your first deal teaches you everything your spreadsheet couldn't, and it lands differently when you're the one holding a contractor invoice. That's 40% over budget. History is full of cycles where the BRRRR method thrived and then tightened. It worked exceptionally well in the post-2008 recovery when properties were dirt cheap and lending eventually loosened back up. But every cycle feels unique to the person living inside it. And a beginner in 2025 faces a completely different lending environment, cost of materials, and rental demand picture than someone who started in 2012. Here's a misconception worth torching immediately. People assume BRRRR requires you to be rich to start, when in reality, the strategy was partly designed to recycle limited capital efficiently. The misunderstanding isn't about the money, it's about the timeline, because beginners routinely underestimate how long each phase actually takes and how much that time costs them in carrying expenses. The actionable lesson from every seasoned investor who's done this more than once is almost embarrassingly consistent. Overestimate your rehab costs by 20 to 30% and underestimate your after repair value by 10% before you ever make an offer. If the deal still works with those pessimistic numbers baked in, you're looking at something real. If it only works when everything goes perfectly, you're not investing, you're gambling with a blueprint. Beginners can absolutely execute a BRRRR deal, but the ones who survive it share one discipline in common: they kept their position size conservative and didn't swing for the fences on deal number 1. You don't need to BRRRR a 12-unit apartment complex out of the gate. A single-family home in a stable rental market is a perfectly valid laboratory for learning how all 5 steps actually behave in the real world. The irony is that the BRRRR method punishes impatience more than it punishes inexperience. You cannot know everything and still win if you move deliberately, verify your numbers obsessively, and build in buffers that protect you when reality diverges from the plan. Conviction without process is just expensive optimism dressed up as strategy. Philosophically, what this strategy teaches you beyond real estate is that the process is the asset, not just the property. Discipline in underwriting, patience during rehab, consistency in screening tenants, those skills compound just like the equity you're building, and they travel with you into every deal after this one. If a deal goes sideways, and statistically some will, the investors who survive aren't the ones who predicted it perfectly. They're the ones who sized their risk appropriately so that one bad outcome didn't wipe out the whole game. Rational preparation isn't pessimism. It's the quiet confidence of someone who's already decided they can handle whatever comes. The beginner who approaches BRRRR with humility, padded numbers, and a realistic timeline isn't less ambitious than the ones swinging recklessly. They're more dangerous because they'll still be in the game on deal number 5, while the overconfident one is licking wounds from deal number 1. Slow, boring, and solvent beats fast, exciting, and broke every single time. Whether you're ready to try your first BRRRR, need a contractor to tackle the rehab phase, or want to connect with a lender who actually understands investment property financing, we can help you get started. Check out our links in the description below.